Hello and good evening. It's what is it? It's Wednesday, the 21st of June, and it's time for July's swap. I was going to say mug rug swap. July's pouch swap. Now, if you've counted up, excuse me, if you've counted up, it is the penultimate month for the pouch swap. So we, after tonight's demo, will have 5 pouches made, or in the process of making the 5th, with only one more to go. Now, unfortunately, I haven't got my phone with me, and I can see most likely I'm not going to see any comments, but that doesn't matter because, oh, I can. Hello, Aurora. Hello, Anne. Wonderful. We've got comments straight away. Good evening, Trishettes, as Anne said. Keep forgetting that, don't I? Trishettes. Yes, we are all Trishettes and belonging to this group, this lovely swap group. So I am thinking, I haven't come to a conclusion yet, what we're going to do in the next swap. I'm sure I'll come up with something. Good evening, Christine. So I am a couple of minutes early. It's only 18:29 at the moment. But when you're ready, you're ready. And you know me, when I think I'm ready, I've always forgotten something. But never mind, I can always sort around. Good evening, Patricia. Hope you're well. I can usually lay my hands on things. Usually, I say. It's when the zips and the zip pulls are in 2 different places. I think Heather will know that, whether she's watching at the moment. But I'm an absolute nightmare. Anyhow, hello, Jeeta. Anyhow, just a quickie in that. Good evening, Caroline. My shed, well, my second shed for storage it's been quoted on. I don't know what it is yet. So I'm hoping, I've pleaded. Oh, Aurora saying hello again. Hello, Judith. Another hot one indeed. I'm hello, Lindsay, and hello, Glynis. I am hoping that the price is not going to be too high, and I was pleading to him at how quickly he could get it done, but we'll see. But things are moving forwards, slightly different way to what I had planned, because the chappie, hello Mary, you love the bag behind me. Yes, I haven't done that yet, have I? He hasn't got back to me, so obviously not interested and doesn't want to earn a little bit of money. So let's go with one particular supplier, one shed company who built the other one to do the whole lot. And then I know they come, they do it, and they go. But I'm just waiting on that price. Yes, that bag behind me, it's a prototype and it's not perfect. So I've got to do something else. I'll give you a quick look. I think you're probably meaning, because I think, Mary, this one here, is that the one you mean? Yes, that one there. It's a little bit wonky because, what didn't I do? Oh, perhaps it's not as wonky as I thought. It isn't quite how I wanted it to be. And I tell you what, when I do another one, it's still lovely. Oh, thank you, Mary. When I do another one, I should have forgotten what I did. But yeah, no, it's not bad. It's not bad. Oh, I know what it was. It's how I finish it right at the end. Hello, Glynis. Hello, Kirsten. Yeah. Oh, that's right. So, it's this bit here. Whoops. This bit here at the back. I've got to do something here. And I don't know at the minute. Well, I haven't had time to think about it. Oh, there's Janet watching and there's Mira watching. Good evening, Ellen. Lovely to see you all. Okay, so that's what that one is. So it's quite large, square. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Jeeta. It's actually a dress. I had the other glasses on. Hello, Jack. Warm again, yes. And Janet. I had my other glasses on and I thought, you know what? I'll put these on because they're comfortable and they go with the dress. Yes. Hello, Margaret. So thank you, everybody who's placing orders on the website as well. Hope you're okay, Ellen. Hope you're well. Hope things are progressing for you. Hello, Marion. Isle of Wight in force tonight. Oh, that rhymed, didn't it? It would be a really useful storage box, yes. Let me just measure it. Hello, Lorna. It's about 6 inches square. There's the base. Hello, Patricia and Amanda. So yeah, it's not bad, but it's not perfect. It's how I've done something wrong. Hello, Mira. Done something wrong, or there's another way of getting it better at the back. But I'll think about that one. Oh, thank you, Jack. I mean, it's okay, but you know, it has to be just so, and that is wrong. I know you can't see it. Hello, Deborah. I shall use it, but it's wrong. Hello, Jane. Oh, yes. Oh, right, yes. That was Designs by Juju. Jane, Designs by Juju. And they do all sorts. They do all sorts. And it's really good. Yeah, that's true, Gita. That's very true. Probably not the amount of zips that I have. As I was telling a couple of people today, I've got zips everywhere. And hello, Linda. Okay, Jane, not a problem. I want to have them all in one place so I can just go to them, and then I can pluck whatever size I want. Obviously, when you have zips like this, I can have whatever size I want anyway. But then the problem with me is, where are the zip holes? I do actually know where those are because I haven't moved them. And my problem is, when I move things, I never put them back in the same place. Yes, Jack, I will share it. Absolutely will. No problem at all, because it's been in my mind for doing that. Oh, you got 2 free patterns today, Sue. They're fabulous. Yes, Gita, I do zip holes. Usually to go with the continuous zip, but I do size 3s. The size 5s are missing in action at the moment, but I do have them. And I will have a few of the iridescent ones as well. Hello, Carrie, good evening to you. So watch this space, I'll put them on the website. Mary has a problem with where you put things. I know, I'm terrible. So the reason is because I shift things around so much. I know where they were, but then the handle on the lid, yes, handle on the lid. Yes, yes, absolutely, Lindsay. You are full of ideas, and I love the ideas to be coming through. I haven't done a post lately to see if there's any particular items you'd like to do, but oh, you need 5s and 3s. Okay, Gita. I haven't got a multitude of, let me think, the iridescent ones, I've got both sizes. But colours, so there's iridescent, but then I've got black, white, and I think ivory, creamy ivory, because I get, as I say, I buy the continuous zip. Good evening, Leslie. I buy the continuous zip and the zip pulls alongside. No, Mary, you're right. And they don't do that many colours of continuous zip. It is basically black, white, ivory. Yeah, black, white, ivory, and a beige. That's all I can get. It's not good. And I keep asking the suppliers, if you're thinking of new things, yeah, okay. The numbers mean, let me see, have I got any, no, where did I put those? No, they're still in the other room. Size 3 is your standard zip. You know, when you buy, hello Joanna, when you buy a closed end zip, which is what we usually use. Have I got a closed end zip by me? Yes, I have. Oops. Oh, sorry, I moved you there. Right. So a closed end zip is like that. Oh, I would pick up, that's an invisible zip, but I don't normally do invisible zips. That's invisible. This one isn't. Okay. So here is, this is a long one, a closed end zip. It's got the zipper pull here, closed end. It's got that metal bit. Oh yes, I have, Lindsay, but I need to find them. Unbelievable. So that's your closed end zip. That is a size 3 standard. Size 5 is a little bit chunkier. I used the chunkier ones on the Priscilla pouch, Priscilla bag, and hello Eileen, and 5 I think I used on the backpacks that I did some while ago, which I must do another backpack, perhaps next week. In fact, yes, next week one of the demos will be a backpack. We'll do that probably on the Friday, or because, yeah, might do the Thursday, one or the other, only because, hello Maxine, Jane just got out the shower, so yes, I turn it down to nearly cold when I'm in the shower in hot weather. So it's the width of the zip tee. It is indeed, yes. So yes, it is about 5mm, yeah. Hello Sheena, and lovely sewing swappers, hope you're all well, enjoying the longest day. Yes, we've got to make the most of it, haven't we? The longest day, hasn't it come round quickly? So, okay, would you like to see, we've got half of these swappers here, but I know that some of you can't watch live. So, today's swap, I've got a couple done, I've done 3, but I gave one away today because it was fine, but I had used fusible fleece in it and I felt it was too thick, so I thought I won't show you that. Well, I was going to show you it to say what not to use. So this one in particular, so here we go, looks similar to others that I've done, but it's different, and there's a different way of making it. Still really easy, and I can truly say you will be making lots of these. Okay, and once we have, in actual fact, I shall have to make some more, but once I have done these, I have finished the 6 months, I'll do a little booklet with all of them in, so you'll never forget. Because if you're anything like me, I am now beginning to forget how I do things. I make them, and if I make them too far in advance, I forget. Which is why I had made that one. This one I made about an hour ago, because I thought I must remind myself how to do it. Okay, so let's have a look. So, looks like an ordinary little pouch, but when we open it up, what we have in here is 1, 2, 3 compartments. How about that? So I don't have this fabric anymore, I don't believe. This one I do. This is one of Starlight Gatherings, and it'd be nice actually to use a nicer fabric in here. I've used calico because it was to hand. 1, 2, 3. And you might think, oh my goodness, how am I going to get 3 compartments in there? But honestly, it is very nice. So, there we are. Shall we have a look to see how it's done? So, I don't know if you've been into the files yet, or into, well, you've come into this group already. You've given us so much. You now folded 3. Wow, Sheena. That's really, really good. And yeah, so this is what we're going to make. I'm sorry I keep using poppers, but they are so, oh, that's good, Joanna. It is so convenient to use poppers, but you can use your ordinary press studs and sew them on. You could use Velcro if you wanted to. It's just how you sew them on afterwards. You have to think about how. Don't worry, you love poppers. I love poppers too. When I made little dresses, I put poppers down the back. I'll tell you a little story, which is a bit disappointing really. There is, when I go down to pick the grandchildren up from school, there is this cutest little girl. I know the dad because he is the age of my youngest son, and they went to school together. And his little girl is called Ada, and after his grandma, and she is absolutely beautiful. She's petite and she's cute, and as some of you that have been here have known, sometimes you said, oh, those little dresses, aren't they lovely? Well, I haven't got them anymore, but I said, oh, lovely Leslie, but I said, when I saw her one day, I said, do you know what, Sam, I have got some lovely little dresses if you'd like them. Oh, yes, please, he said. So I duly that afternoon took them in, handing them to him. Yeah, prim poppers are the best, I'm afraid. I handed them to him and he said, oh, thank you. I'll try them on her as soon as I get home. And he has not. I've seen him every day. He has not said another word since. Now, I don't want praise, but it would be nice. Hello, Elaine. It would have been nice for him to say, oh, thank you so much. She loves them. Just to say. Or the wife thinks they're lovely. Thank you for giving them to me. But nothing. So in my mind, I think, one, they don't like them. They were quite pretty. Two, they don't fit. Or it's just plain rude. But there we go. Just to say, I know. I can't stop thinking about it. Every time I see him, he'll always say, morning, Trish. How are you? I say, I'm fine, thank you, Sam. You all right? You know. And we'll sit and chat for an afternoon. But he said nothing. But never mind. Let it go over my head. Let it go. Let it go. So, as I was saying with these pouches, if you look in the files in this group, the PDF is there. And Trisha was going to bring, but I haven't brought it with me. I have not brought with me. Yeah, I know. But as I say, I've got to let it, get over it, Trisha. Let it go. The template is in half. So there is a point down the side which says place on the fold. So the shape, let me get it. You see, I come on early and I forget. Very, very rude, yes. At least it wasn't a big quilt. Right, let's just have a look. I always forget something. Right. I am back. Back for you first. Okay, so this is what the template looks like. Now, I know some of our international, thank you, Lindsay. Lindsay's dancing and you're all singing, I know. Can you buy metal poppers? Yeah, you can buy metal poppers. Usually, they come with a different type of tool. I don't know whether the Prim tool will do those. Oh, you can you? Right, Lindsay, I need to see if I can get some metal ones and see if they work with my Prim tool then. Because metal are lovely. I have got a big a big metal, a green thing, can't think what you call them now, but it sets eyelets, and they also you get the right die part, and you can set metal cam snaps, but I haven't tried. I will do that. So here's what your template will look like. And what I've done, I know I've chopped some off because I've cut it out, but there's measurements so that you know what it should be. And so here is your template. Yeah, I think you're right, Joanna. I think you're right. You probably keep the white, that little cut part, I've got those here. Probably keep that part, but where the rubbery bit, you might need a different one there. Absolutely, I think you're right. So this will be your template. Your Prim tools and attachments for different sizes. Oh, me, I'm lazy. I don't change it, you see. So what I tend to do whenever I've got a template which says place on the fold, I actually put sellotape. Can you see there? So I've got sellotape. I sellotape another bit of paper so it'll be a big piece of paper. Then I cut around the template, and then you have. I should turn it that way, shouldn't I? So this is the shape. The front of your little eye is just like a mouse's face. Yeah, it is, Sheena. So that's what your template looks like. And it should be 12 inches across there, 6 inches up here. What will it be here? Oh, 3 inches here, 3 inches here. And then from this bit here, 2 inches for the flap. So that's what the shape will be. And I always find it better, rather than placing this, you can place this on the fold of the fabric. Hello, Mavis. Oh, lovely, Jack, thank you. I cut a whole template, So, okay, it's got every on there. So that's your template. What you'll need to cut is one outer fabric, as it says, one lining fabric and one interfacing. Now I haven't put wadding, I haven't put fusible fleece, because there's a little bit of turning through, it is much easier to use interfacing. And when I say interfacing, I either mean, I've got a little bit of it here, so this is your G700, which is like fabric. You see you can't hear it crinkling. Or H250, which is up here. Oh my goodness. That would be the wrong way round. Whoops. Just going to get this down so it doesn't fall off me. Oh, things come out. H250. Can you hear that? That's the papery one. So the papery one, so you can use that, or, see there's no noise with that. So this one is more like a fabric. It's like a very lightweight cotton fabric with a fusible. So this side here is textured, and that's where your fusible, your adhesive is. Here is your papery one, and one side is a little bit glossy, that side. So that's your fusible. So either or. They are both on the website. But actually the G700 a little bit dearer, not too much, no. Or is it twice? Is it 175? And I think this might be 350, but you don't need very much and it's really worth it. So I have already cut my pieces. I've used another bit of indigo gatherings, starlight gatherings rather. I've got my calico for, oh, I should have used something nicer. I'll make another one for my swap. So I have already fused my G700 onto the reverse of the fabric, and it just makes it a little bit, let's get a little bit here. Right, where's a bit of fabric? Oops. Dum-de-dum-de-dum. Oops. Oh, that would be a big piece of fabric, wouldn't it? Let's have a look here. Right, so here's a bit of fabric. Now, I don't know whether you can see that. So that's purely fabric. Moda, so both alike, but this has got just that little bit more body because I've got the G700 on it. And when we press it, it presses really beautifully. So, let's have a look. I'm using, for those who are watching the other night, last night even, I'm using my little pin cushion because I quite like it. It just shows how little bits of fabric can look really nice in just that straightforward diagonal lines of squares. Okay, so let's go down to the machine. There it is. See all the mess behind. And I'm just going to pull this in, my table, and switch my machine on, and it's working. Right, so we are going to take our outer fabric with our G700 already fused onto it. Place that right side up. Then with your lining fabric, if you place that right side down, so we've got right sides together, line that up. Now my cutting, oh yes, if your cutting is accurate, all well and good. It is much better to be beautifully accurate. You can see I've got a little bit where it's not quite, but that will work into the seam. So that is fine. Let's just move that up there. And what we're going to do, we are going to stitch, if I just pencil, we are going to stitch, whoops, along here, round the curve, and along to the other side. So we've got two short sides, and then I'm going to stitch along the whole way across this long bottom side. So I'm leaving these pieces open. I am using, you can just use a standard stitch length. I like to use probably 2 for this, and I'm just going to stitch across here, and you'll see, let me just go in, there we go. I've just come, as I've come across that straight bit, I've come just a little bit further past, because we are now going to go around the curve. So let's just go a little bit slower. I like to stitch the whole curve without stopping. So that's where I'm just looking at my cutting wasn't perfect, but more of the perfect the better. Once you've cut one piece, if you lay that on your, or lay both pieces together, but I'm taking into account that outer edge, which I know was perfect there. Okay, we're going around the curve. As I say, if you go a little bit slower and in one move, you get a nice smooth curve. Okay, and then we'll pivot around here and go across that top edge. I just tended to reverse at the beginning and the end because we will be folding that bit. So I've gone along the short, around the curve and along. Then I'm going to swivel it round, and again I'm going across the bottom, that long bottom edge. So I've reversed there, and as I say, even though my fabric is not lining up perfectly, I'm using that darker edge, there we are, as my perfect size. So to the bottom, to the end and back. Okay, so we have that all stitched out. So we stitched along, there we go, back again, along that long bottom, and then from that short edge across around the curve and to the other side. So the next thing we're going to do, these two little parts here where it comes into this, the end of the curve, I'm going to clip into that. That will give us not cutting my threads, hopefully. That's it. Clip into there. And you know what I do with curves. You can clip into the curves if you want to. You can clip in and cut out a little V, but that's time consuming. So I am just going to trim to around about the 1/8 of an inch. I won't bother with around there, but just the curves, just like so, and trim. So I've just trimmed those curves so that they are narrower, and then we won't have to do the clipping in. You could use pinking shears if you'd like to. So the next thing we do need to press it. So let me just pop in. There we go. Just pop in the. Now where have I put my pressing mat? Right, set the iron on because we're going to press this. Oh, my cutting mat is here. My pressing mat, fabulous. I tried to keep it next to me. So there's my pressing mat. So yes, I am going to do that. I'm going to turn it to the right side. So you've got two nice big holes to be able to put your hand in there all the way through. And then you can, so I've got that there, up this side is my flap, or what will be my flap. So I can push my finger around that edge to push that fabric out. So there you can see is my top, and here are my sides. So I will start with this top edge here. So just pull that so that the outer fabric and lining align. So you've got the seam right on the edge, and we'll give that a press. And then the same will go around here. Oh, I know what I didn't do with my other ones. I didn't top stitch it, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so I've pressed around there, and then also pull out that side as well, so that we've got that seam right on the edge, and just give that a nice press. So I find it easier then to turn it round to the long end, and you can sort of push this down because this is all pressed nicely. Just pull that down, so again the edge there, or the seam, is right on the edge. So I'm just finger pressing that first of all, and then you can put your finger into that end like so, and we'll just press along here. So press along there, and along here, just so that we've got a nice, there we are. So that's nice and pressed flat and ready to do our next little bit of work. So we now need to join this end to this end, but it's a tube. So I found it easiest just to, we want this to be right sides together here. So if you put your hands in here, tucking the flap in as we go, like so, and we are wanting this end here, so we've got an open end here, we're wanting this to line up, so we keep pushing that in like so until we get, can you see there? So I've got, this is the other end, we're having right sides of fabric together now, so we'll line the seam up, and I will pop a couple of pins in there like that. I might even put them on both sides just to hold that seam down. And then we'll go around to the other side and just push that down a little bit, and we're going to line this seam up as well. Now I haven't bothered to see that the seam around here, because it's so far apart, it's not going to notice. So I've just nested the seam, so one goes one way and one goes the other. And you'll notice we've got the lining fabrics are lining up and the outer fabrics are lining up there. So we're going to stitch around here, but we are going to leave a gap in the fabric. So let us, somewhere in the middle here, so on my lining, I'm going to make a little mark of about 2 inches, say. I've just done a couple of little marks there. I'm going to leave a gap. So, oh, I've done it on the wrong side, really. If you can get that over your free arm of your machine, do. But actually, I'm going to sew from the inside. So I'm going to lay that flap down, and I'm going to sew on that inside edge because it's easier. So I'm just pulling that together. I should probably put another pin in there, but we want those edges to align. So here we go. So we'll pop it under the machine, and remember, I've put the things on the other side, but remember we're going to leave a gap in this lining edge. So when we start, we do a reverse stitch and sew as far as you can, and then just pull this around a little bit so that you can carry on stitching. So I'm just going to press that seam down, or my hands are totally in the way. So let me move that around there. Nope. Let us see. So if I sort of torque it, I'm just trying to hold that back because I'm trying to get in here, and I want to take those pins out before I hit them. So let's just take that pin out there, and then I'll just go over there. So, right. So let me see if I can get my hand out of the way. But I'm just pulling that round. I'm making sure these edges line up, and there, perhaps we can do it like that. So carry on stitching as far as we can go. Oops, my hand was still in the way. And carry on stitching around there. If you're watching this, the needle going up and down, you'll be able to see where we're going. Okay, so making sure that edge aligns. Get my fingers flat and out of the way. Make sure it doesn't catch on your needle on the screw there going up and down, but you can roughly see, so I don't want that to go up. Right, pin out and pin out again, and we are going to stop here. That's where I started, and then we're going to stop just before that, so that we leave ourselves a gap. Let's just pull that out. Okay, so again, that is in the way there. So I'll just carry on stitching a little bit here. There is, so a little bit more, and reverse, and cut. So if I just take that off, whoops, I have left a gap here. So that is my turning gap there. Let's just take that back in. So I've got my turning gap here, and I've stitched all the way around this top edge apart from there. So what we're going to do now is turn it through to the right side. Now what you can do is one of these edges, one of this where the opening is, let's just pop that down there, just turn it back and just give it a nail press just to the other side. So I'll just nail press that back just there rather than actually pressing it. It'll just help a little bit. So now through this gap I'm going to pull the rest of the pouch through. Okay, so not that much sewing, was there? Let's just push that to there. So the smaller the gap, it will come through. This is where, if you decided to use fusible fleece, it is that little bit too thick to get through the small hole. So if you can grab hold of the flap, that just makes it, or helps it come through a lot more easily. So about a 2-inch gap, and then just pull the rest of it through. So just keep tweaking that around, and that will come through. And what you will have, oops, there we go. Okay, so now what we have is a tube. It's got the, at the moment, we've got the outer on the inside, and here is the lining. So what we do have here is that little gap. So you can hand sew that if you like, or let's just turn that under. So there's my one seam there, and if we leave this one facing inwards, so let's just get that out of the way. So we have our seam allowance on one side facing, so let's just, that's it, I've just pressed that down there. So let's just go in a little bit closer so you can see the gaps. So I have, let's just get those little bits of fabric out, those threads. Okay, so I've pressed, oh there we are. So that fabric is going, that seam allowance is going inwards, and this was the one here that I had pressed back. So what we're going to do is just overlap. This is the quick way, is just overlap that rather than stitching it. So you can stitch if you like, but what are we going to do? If you've got some Wonder Web, even better, or if you have, what I've got here is some the wash away tape, and I'm going to use a little bit of that, so the sticky side is there, and I'm going to pop it inside my gap, and I'm going to lay that, perhaps I put a little bit too long, no, I'm going to lay that inside where my fabric is going to, where my seam is. So that's it, there's my seam, and let's just burnish it by using my nail, and then I'm just going to pull the tape out, and then I'm going to pull this, the other edge of the seam over, and then that will close it. I'm just going to turn that iron on, and I'm going to give it a little press over that seam, just so it holds together. If you have got, as I say, Wonder Web, which is for turning up the bottoms of your trousers, all well and good, even better, but this is going to hold it. So I'm just going to give that a nice press from the inside, like so, and my gap in the lining is closed. Now I'm going to turn it to the right side, so all we need to do is turn that through, because we've still got that hole in the bottom. And then I am going to, what you'll find, where the, oh, let's just put that up a little bit like that, that's it. When you turn it to the right side, what you'll find is that the flap, you don't have to centre the flap, it just fits there, because this just fits perfectly across there. And then what we are going to do is we're just going to press this. So let's press the sides, press that top edge, and press this, which will also be a top edge. Okay, so nicely pressed. Press that top there. Now, if you want to, and actually I'm not going to on this one because I love the fabric around here, but if you want to top stitch around the flap edge, you can do that now, okay? Just top stitch all the way around there, but I'm not going to. Actually, I want my iron again because I haven't done. So you've only got a little bit more stitching to do. So there is your pouch, but we've got a gap at the bottom. That's not a problem, because all we're going to do is fold that up to meet that top edge. Okay, we're meeting that top edge like so. We are going to press again, press the bottom. So just give that a press across there, a press up the sides. Don't burn your fingers. Nearly did. Okay, so that is nicely pressed. Two more little bits of stitching now. So you could do this by hand if you want to, but all I'm going to do is stitch here. I'm going to do 3 or 4 stitches in that very top, so that those two where they're apart, I'm going to stitch down here from the front and down there. So we take that to the machine. Just make sure that that lines up. These are your pockets, 1, 2, 3. And let us go into the machine so that I can tell you, or where. Ooh, there we go. So, as I say, because we've pressed it, that's lining up nicely. So straight under your machine here. Oops, why is that not there? That's better. And I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, there was 5 there because they were little. And cut. So there's my first little bit. Probably would have used navy. I'm going to swivel round to the other side now and pop that under. And I'm right close to the very edge. And I go backwards and forwards and back again. And let's just have a look. Just trim that little bit of thread away. There's a little bit here. And there's bound to be a bit on the back. So just trim those so that we haven't got any. So it's just straight stitching backwards and forwards. And same on this side. Trim those ends off. So that is the amount of stitching you have. 3 or 4 little stitches at both sides. And there is your 1, 2, 3. So let's just have a look. Or you could, in fact, if that middle one has got something, you could go the whole way down there. But I've just done, because the middle one, it would fall out the sides. Can you see my fingers going out there? That one, it won't. So the front one is fully enclosed. The back one is fully enclosed at the sides. It's just that centre one there. So if you want to stitch down the whole way down there, you can. Or, as I've done, I just left that middle one so that I can, just by stitching down at the top. The next thing we're going to do is bring the flap over, and you can see how perfectly that just comes down. I didn't press that over there, but I could have done. And then we're going to pop our cam snap on there. So I am going to put there is my my thingy. I'm going to put a cream one on here. 1, 2, 3, and that's an innie. I want an outie. There we are. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 2 of the pointy ones. I've got 1 innie, and this one is my outie. So what we need to do first of all, let's just set those over there. Just want to find the centre of where I'm going to put the the cam snap, and let's just have a look. So this across here, no, let's do it 1, 2, is 5 inches. So I'm just lining that up across there. I can see that's 5. So either a pin, let's find a pin at 2.5. Okay, and I haven't got, so I put my pin there. I haven't got my pokey tool or my seam ripper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to waggle my pin in there so that I can see just the tiniest of holes, and then I'm very carefully popping my little snips, and then I'm going to post my cam snap in the centre, and I've got my thumb on the back of it holding that in place. I'm then, as I usually do, I'm putting the outie onto the point. So there's the outie, and I've got my fingers on both parts. Oops, you can't see there. I've got my fingers on both parts holding it there. Then if I take my pliers and I put the cup part against the biggest bit, then I'm keeping my finger on the outie until I bring that part of the pliers down, and I'll give it, I usually say give it 3 presses, but I'm giving that 2, and I can see in the centre that's all squashed, which means that's held well and truly in place. Then I'm going to fold that back over, and I'll get my pin again, and I lift up the flap so that I can see where that part is going to land, which is there. So with my pin, again, I'll do a little wiggle so that I can see where the point is going, and then I'm just going to wiggle that in. Don't do this really because it's not ideal, but it's just I haven't got, and hopefully, yep, I can see in there where my snips came through, so I can poke the pointy bit through, and then I'm going to put, so that comes from the inside to the outside, put my outie piece on there, and then again I'll get my snaps, but this part is going on the inside to hold the large button, and then I'll just lower that down, and again just give that a couple of bits of welly just to hold that, and that's flattened down, and there is our little pouch. As simple as that. So what do we think? Oh, don't worry, Janet, I'm getting old. I haven't had time to have a sleep today. Oh, Jill's late to the party, but you can watch later. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Right, so you were watching intently, weren't you? So, not the best place for it to be, but never mind. There we are. So, there we have 1, 2, 3. But wasn't it easy? Wasn't it easy? So, basically what we had, the amount of stitching. Okay. So, there was your pattern. We stitched. Oh, here we are. Now let's take it back a little bit further. I'm just a little bit close, aren't I? Oops, there we are. Oh, not good when I'm so close. There is our pattern. We stitched along here, and we stitched along the bottom. So that's 1 seam, 2 seams. Then when we looped one side over the other, we stitched around here. So that's 3. We didn't even stitch up the gap in the lining. And then we did, once it was folded, so it was like that, we just stitched 2 little bits at each side. So, just over 3, you've got 5 pokey tools, because I now put a huge hole. Yes! Yes, use your seam ripper or a pokey tool or an awl, that is good. Or you could use a Japanese punch tool, Japanese punch tool, but you don't have to. So there is 1, there is 2, and there is 3. How about that? nice and easy. I think Christmas gifts in one of these would be great. And you know, how really quick did they come together? And as I say, none at all. That one I've top stitched round. Can you see? I just top stitched round that edge. These two I haven't. So, you know, you can do whatever you like. The other thing I would quite like to do is do it in a little bit of patchwork. So, that would be quite nice to do it in a bit of patchwork. But aren't they easy? Great little pouch, thank you, Jane. And it does come together very easily. Okay, so that is about it. Now, today we're on the 21st. You should be receiving... Oh yes, Lorna, it is lovely. It's quite Liberty-esque, I think. Do I mean crumb? You do crumb quilting? Yep. Yeah, absolutely crumb quilting. So with that, what I would do, actually what you could do, if you're using, because I did say G700 is better. Yeah, quilter's grid, you could, yes, absolutely. Then cut your pattern shape out of it and go from there. I can see some beautiful pouches coming through in August. So what do I, yes, decisions. What I was going to say, most of you will have received, yeah, that's right. So most of you have received your June swaps by now. My recipient, somebody hasn't got theirs yet because mine is in the post as of today. So should be with you very soon. And on the 25th is when you can show all the previous months' ones which are coming through. And Lindsay will be popping the names and addresses out for who you're posting these ones to on the 25th or just after. She's very bang on the date though, but I should think the 25th, as she just said. Thank you, Lindsay. So Sheena, crumb quilting. We have done a little bit before, but I can do that again. So I think I've only done it once, perhaps twice. Oh, right, that's lovely, Janet. I've received mine a couple of days ago as well. But as I say, I'm naughty. Now, what I will say, please, I have said about large letter stamps, which you are all doing now. But what I will say, just make sure, we've had an incident which is totally not Our Lady's fault at all. But now be careful of this, buying your stamps from a post office or a renowned, like supermarket, should be absolutely fine. But I would say the post office every time, purely because, I don't know if you saw on the news or on a, it was on a consumer show, there are counterfeit stamps about. How much is that fabric you used, please? This is Starlight Gatherings, and it's Moda. It's £14 a metre. So there's quite a few within that range. Oh, thank you, Lindsay. Sheena, Lindsay's going to sort it out for you, the crumb quilting. Saying that, I did have, there's another little project I have that could use a bit of crumb quilting in it as well. So we'll have a look at that later. So that's it for today. Tomorrow on the So Totally Trisha page, I was saying counterfeit stamps. Yes, the non-barcoded stamps are coming to an end soon. I think at the post office they will only, I don't know when the end date is, but yes, they will be coming to an end. Your stamp bought from the post office now will have a barcode, and your large letter stamps will always have the word large printed on them. Oh, you get your stamp? Yeah, that should be absolutely fine. I mean, the supermarket should be fine. I think, no, I won't mention where because I don't want to be in for slander. But just make sure it's a renowned place for buying your stamps from. So, end of July is it, Joanna? End of July for your non-barcoded will be the last time. So I would say you may very well be able to get the very last swap, because I shall do that in July. If you make it quickly, you'll be able to get them out before August the 1st. using your old stamps, or go to the post office, fill in the form and get them swapped for the new ones. So tomorrow on the So Totally Trisha page, we will have subscription boxes. Again, this time it's going to be slightly different, and quite a good deal. Trusted retailers, that's the words I was thinking of. And on Friday, I have another 6:30 on the So Totally Trisha page, another little holder. I can't think what I've called it. Triple flap holder or something like that. Buy 6 at a time. Yep. Okay. Thank you, Gidget Marie. You appreciate all we do. Thank you so, so much. So, thank you everybody for joining me tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Hopefully tomorrow will be a sunny day. Not too hot, please, but a pleasant day. And I'll see you all at 6:30 on the So Totally Trisha page. So, bye for now.